Hello, Sarah.
Hello.
So, I've got a question for you. What makes a good connection when dancing?
A good connection when dancing. I think for me, there are three main things. So the first one is setting your dance up for success, which sounds really cheesy, but I'll explain what it means. The second is around having a good frame, being responsive and also being present. And the last one's around musicality. So I'll just go for each one. The first one around setting yourself up for success for your dance. What it means is just like it's setting those foundations. So at the start of a dance, like whether you know someone or not, like you usually go up to them and ask them for a dance, say hello, ask how they are maybe, or maybe you'll just jump straight into the dance. Either way, totally fine. But the core of it is starting off slow, getting an understanding of how your partner moves, maybe understanding what level they're at as well, so you can adjust to that. And also, usually music is slow at the start as well, so you want to try and match your moves to that rather than just going into all the crazy fun stuff. You want to start slow, like side steps maybe, or a simple basic, and then kind of build that up. Having that foundation is also really important for the rest of your dance. So if you start strong, it's a lot easier to continue strong. It means that if the dance is becoming more complex and there's more energy in the song, so everything kind of builds, it means that you have that strong foundation at the start. Even you might not have danced with them before to be able to have a good dance for the rest of the song. And the second one is around having a good frame, being responsive as well as being present. So the first two, having a good frame and also being responsive, are very interrelated. By having to be responsive, you need to have a frame that is not too strong but also isn't like non-existent. So what I mean by that is it can't be, if it's too strong and your arms, both like your forearms, your upper arms, your wrists, and also your shoulders and your lats are all tensed up, you become very rigid and it becomes very difficult for someone to lead you, and that kind of almost doesn't break the connection, but it just doesn't like make it as good of a connection. But if you relax the bottom half and then like make sure you still have any tension here and there's still energy coming through here and you're holding your own arms, that also helps with, like, it means that they can like move something or like lead something, and then you will respond because the lead comes through to your body, but you're not super heavy. The other end of the spectrum is like when you don't give much at all. So like you might just be here, it looks like you're in your frame, but if someone like decides to move my hand and pushes it back, then my frame would break this way because I've got nothing engaged here. The other point here is to make sure you don't backlead. So by backleading, I mean when you try and guess what the move is, or you complete the move without it being led. It's really easy for it to happen because when we get excited and we're dancing, we're like, oh, this music sounds great, this feels like a turn, I'm gonna turn. That for a lead it feels a little bit like, oh, like she didn't do what I asked her to, like she almost like hijacked my moves sometimes. So it can affect the connection, and to maintain that good connection, it helps a lot to wait for something to be led and then do it. And also there can be like a slight delay in terms of like someone like waiting for them to lead the move before you like respond, rather than like trying to anticipate and just like trying to stay on top of it all the time, if that makes sense. And then the last part about this is being present. So what I mean by this is really just like being there in the moment, like being mindful that there are other distractions, like maybe someone's doing like something over there, or like your friends just walked in the room. Like it helps if you stay present in the dance to like maintain that connection. You can go say hi later, or like see what's going on later as well. Being present is also about like maintaining that connection through things like having a laugh or a smile, or like a bit of eye contact, or just making sure that you are really there in the room, and your focus for that song is the person you're dancing with and the lead. The last one is a quick one, so it's about musicality. And I know a lot of people talk about musicality, but the most important part about it is making sure, one, that you're on the beat. So sometimes music changes and they'll have like a half bar where it kind of sounds really funny and you end up on the wrong foot. That's totally fine. Just make sure you find the right beat again and you continue. And then the other part of it is also listening to the music and adapting the way you dance to changes in music. So examples of this are like at the introduction, usually they tend to be a little bit slower or like they're more chill. So usually your moves will be, let's say you might be doing like a simple basic or a side basic or like maybe body movement, depending on what the song is. But then as the song builds, like through the verses, choruses and the bridges, then your music should adjust to those. And then also if you are able to and you hear like the hits in the music or the breaks in the music, adjusting to those too. Like if you hear a break, it's totally okay to just stop and hold and then continue again, whatever that looks like, depending on what you're comfortable with. But yeah, musicality is super important. I think a lot of follows will say that you can have a really simple dance, as long as it's musical, then it's an amazing dance. So yeah, that's my 3 tips on having a good connection in bachata.